Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, number 3. Actually, where does it even say it? Oh, issue 3, right here. Again, by Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird. This one also with help from Tom Waltz on the story. Script by Waltz and Eastman. Layouts by Eastman. And this is Esau and Isaac Escorza on the pencils and inks. With a little bit of Ben Bishop, Kevin Eastman for color assistance. Actually, no, it's Esau, Isaac Escorza, Ben Bishop, and Kevin Eastman doing pencils and inks, and then color assistance by Sam Plata. Like, holy crap, dude. There's like so many people involved with making this thing. It's kind of nuts. Anyhow, getting into this. So this is the 3rd issue. It's a 4-part miniseries, is my understanding. Again, these are the interesting perfect bound tall format that this last Ronin series is being done in. So we jump right into this, and this is, again, flashbacks. One criticism I have of this issue in general is it is a lot of flashbacks. So if you didn't like the previous issue, I don't think you're going to be really happy about this issue either. Again, spoiler alert, Michelangelo and April don't really move forward all that much in the plot in this one. So it's just really going over flashbacks. So this is Oroku, or Hiroto, I should say, the new Oroku that they're fighting. This is kind of going over him becoming the new leader of the Foot Clan. Karai has been put into a coma from fighting the turtles. So he takes it on, and then he talks about, speaking of peace, and then it goes back to the present time, where this is Karai in stasis, and him basically showing himself to all of New York City and commanding to New York City to hunt down the last Ninja Turtle right here. And you can see the chaos breaking forth as martial law is declared in New York City. We go down into the sewers where Michelangelo is still kind of sitting around, fucking around in a bed with the ghost turtles talking to him as they talk about the past. And they're also talking about Casey Marie, who is April and Casey's daughter, the one that we just met in the previous issue. She's kind of acts as the sort of new female hero, essentially the new wave character. So far, though, she isn't too Mary Sue, so it's not that bad, but, it's kind of like, I don't know how to feel about it. But, yeah, we jump around, and you get the two of them kind of clashing with each other, old versus young. And then you get this guy is back. This is Fugitoid Honeycutt. And this is April kind of explaining what happened as they kind of talk back to what happened back then. So this event... One complaint I have about this issue is this issue doesn't do, and I should say Eastman and Tom Waltz don't do a very good job of explaining what exactly is going on here. You really have to do a lot of inference with what's being shown here. And it really does cater to old school TMNT fans, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't take away the necessity to explain the situation and the background of things. In fact, honestly, you could cut out probably half the dialogue and replace them with caption boxes or maybe sort of explanations of the sort of a little bit of the history here of the Turtles, because for longtime Turtles fans, this comic book's probably a ton of fun. But for your average person picking up this book, maybe this is their first exposure to the Turtles because it's brand new and it's on the shelves. It doesn't do a very good job. And in that regard, this is something, and it's the same thing with the second issue too, that they really need to think about this, especially if they're going to, and I almost guarantee you they're going to re-release this as a trade paperback or a completed volume, which, by the way, I would totally recommend buying that over these. These are okay, and they're kind of cool to collect and everything, but being honest, they're still very decompressed and honestly not really fulfilling, at least on their own. A lot of stuff does happen and it's still kind of fun, but you really would be better off buying like a big book rather than each of these individually, in my opinion. So we go to a time after Raphael has been killed. Essentially, the Oroku clan is looking for to kind of barter a peace agreement right here. You got Donatello and Splinter are going to go meet them. Here you have Honeycutt kind of talking to all of them about the situation, getting them ready to go. You got a lot of them basically. Leo and Mike don't really trust the peace talks from the Oroku clan, and they're pretty much like, yeah, this is probably going to go sideways. And of course it's going to go sideways because here's Stockman looking to recapture Honeycutt here. And yeah, you see a bunch of these jobbers right here getting killed by Foot Ninja clan. We get into a big freaking mash and a fight. Here comes the Foot clan. The layouts in this issue, I would say, are not as good as the previous issue. There's a couple things that I feel are like a little off, and I think, you know, I would have preferred like less cinematic panels right here. One thing I noticed about this thing is there's a lot of wide panels right here, and I think like some more vertical panels or just regular panels would have been a lot better in the layouts, in my opinion. So anyway, we're going to jump through here real quick here. Essentially, they end up getting ambushed by the Foot while Donatello and Splinter is away, and then Stockman basically self-destructs a bunch of Mouser robots and kills pretty much everybody. So this is the death of Casey Jones and Leonardo. And then going back into the present, again, they don't really tell you right here that this is the present. There's a lot of time jumping going around, and there's no caption boxes to explain it. Again, this is something that I think an editor should have caught. But, you know, the editor here, Bobby Curnow, I don't know, for whatever reason, he kind of just phoned this one in. So they end up going through out in New York. It's kind of chaos because the whole place is under martial law. And Casey Marie's gang is getting kind of jacked at this point. Ooh, snap. Got to get to the lair, warn mom, etc. And then, see, here's an example of like some weird layouts, right? Like, take a look at this. Like, this is right here. She's jumping at this Foot cyborg. And she's winding up, and you look at this, and you're like, yeah, she's going to, like, the way she's winding up right here would suggest that she's going to kick this dude with her left foot, like a sidekick, right? But then she ends up doing like this weird thing where it's like this, you know, dive kick of a sort. It's like really weird, and it kind of like makes you think that the artist or the layout was kind of done one page at a time rather than doing them all pages at once. It's really awkward and funky looking. But yeah, so we go back over here and we get more flashbacks. Here's Mike and April basically talking about what happened after the explosion. So this, we go to Kevin Eastman's pencils. So you can see it right here. This is Eastman style. So he's, you know, April's talking about, you know, how she survived, you know, how the explosion took her arm and her leg away. Also, she found out she was pregnant. You know, by the time she left the hospital, she had her child and, you know, went and hid into the sewers, because by that time, Hiroto was basically taking over all of New York City. And then Mike kind of explains what happened to him after the explosion next. So again, you have Eastman's pencils right here. And he basically was in a fog and didn't know what the hell happened, assumed everyone was dead. Went over, got a bunch of weapons, and flew over to Japan to try to find Donatello and Splinter. And, you know, they kind of go and have like a heart-to-heart about the situation. Essentially, this is like the, you know, we lost, but we can still win, etc., etc. You know, very dark, futuristic kind of stuff. And you get, here's April's daughter coming back saying, hey, this shit is hitting the fan. We got to do something. And then you have like 4 pages of some really odd monologuing by Hiroto, I should say, Hiroto. And it's really out of place, and honestly, I feel like it's a waste of 4 pages, because it's just him saying villain things, you know? And admittedly, the layouts are kind of cool and interesting, but they're not really adding anything to the story, other than there's like some suggestion of like this, you know, looks like a bird robot that picks him up and whatnot, but, you know, it's really, I don't know. I feel like these 4 pages are basically wasted for the most part. So then we jump over here, and speaking of wasted pages right here, essentially what they're going over right here is that they got to go break into like Stockman's fortress, break them out using like technology that she kind of got from Honeycutt. And rather than just kickstart the plot by them going to do that, instead we kind of waste a big double-page spread on people talking, which is a little too, I don't know, it's too modern for my taste. I'm not really big into this. Like, I think, you know, Eastman's getting a little too modern here. I would just, like, you know, there's a lot of talking that doesn't need to happen in this issue, and not a lot of, like, pushing the plot forward. That's just kind of my opinion right here. I don't really need to know about a lot of this stuff. I just need to, like, hey, if we're gonna fight Stockman, then go fight Stockman, right? That should have been the central focus of this issue, and more like smaller sort of flashbacks rather than these long ass flashbacks, because you still got to fight Hiroto too, right? So, you know, we only technically have, like, I think one more issue in this miniseries, so I don't know what's going on here. It's this thing is kind of plodding along right here. It started really, really good, and then kind of went in the second issue, and then this issue, not so great. This kind of, I'm going to be honest with you, this one kind of sucked. So, anyhow, no art for this one. This was kind of a quick review. I know I'm supposed to do Lucky Luke. I will do Lucky Luke after 4th of July. Plan to do one other Turtles review for 4th of July, but, you know, things are just kind of going everywhere right now. Anyhow, that's the video. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. You got any comments on The Last Ronin number 3? Leave it down below, and I will see you next time.